All right, shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom to the Torah, Yasha Allah, giving of course all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba, Shema, Mashak, Yahushua. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Mahashiach, Yahushua, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ. His real name is Yahushua, and He is the Savior and King of the nation of Israel. All right, shalom, shalom. I'm gonna get straight into this, your brother Yasha Allah. All right, and this is going into a Psalm chapter 126 breakdown. All right, Psalms 126 breakdown. All right, we were like those that dream. Okay, Psalms chapter 126. As you may know, as you get into the latter chapters of Psalms, the Psalms get shorter and shorter. Not exponentially, but just as you go towards the latter chapters of the Psalms, they're typically kind of shorter, right? But Psalms chapter 126, not that long, but it is prophecy, right? It does have prophecy and as well as words of exhortation within that psalm, right? So let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 126, right? Let's go to Psalm chapter 126. All right. All right, and it reads, it says, when the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. So what does that mean when the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion? Meaning when the Lord ended our captivity, right? But this is a prophecy. It's going into when the Lord is going to end our captivity, right? Let's go to the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. That's what that means, turn again the captivity, right? To end a captivity. That's what that means, right? You might get tripped up like, well, what does that mean? We're going into captivity again? No, it means to bring back the captivity, right? To end it. It's just the old and archaic way of saying it, right? Let's go to the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. Let's demonstrate that. Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. When the Lord brings again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. What does that mean? To end the captivity, right? When I end the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Judah and Jerusalem, meaning all Israel, right? Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat in the Hebrew, which means Yahweh's judgment, right? And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So this is going into the final battle, the battle of Yahweh Shaphat. This is the final and last battle, right? The nations will come, and the Lord, as you can read in this chapter, the Lord is going to fight against them, right? But it's when the Lord is going to save his people, right, and bring them again back to the land. This links up with the prophecies of Gog and Magog when you read that in the book of Ezekiel chapter 38, as well as Ezekiel 39, right? When the Lord is going to have Israel, or going to have these other nations after America is destroyed, according to the chronology of prophecy. These other nations like Russia, China, these leading world powers after America is destroyed is going to try to fight against Israel, right? Shalom, Barakathon Most Highest, man, mighty brother. Been waiting for you to come out here. You know what I'm saying? We can do the work. Or I've been waiting to come out there, in fact, Lord willing. But, so yeah. So back to this, right? So this is the point of this is to demonstrate that when the Lord says, I bring again the captivity, it means to end it, right? Let's get another precept, right? Let's get another precept. This is the book of Ezekiel, right? It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 49. Right? Ezekiel chapter 49. Or it's like now Ezekiel 49. Right? Jeremiah. Right? Jeremiah 49. All right. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 38. But it shall come to pass in the latter days that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, saith the Lord. Right? So the Lord said that, look, in the latter days, after the 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, according to the prophecies, after that, he's going to bring again the captivity of Elam, right? Meaning they're going to be able to go back to their own land, right? They're going to be able to go back to their own land, and instead of our foot being on their head, it's going to be kind of released off of it a little bit, right? So, instead of us oppressing them with rigor, right, constantly for 1,000 years, after that 1,000 years, according to the prophecies, they'll be able to go back to their land and they'll be able to, live there, but still be under the subjection of the Israelites, right? And Lord willing, we can see each other, man, in the flesh, right? All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, right? Diligent brothers up here, man, diligent brothers, right? But it says what? All right, let's get another precept. All right, let's get another precept. Well, actually, that's fine, right? That's fine. We can go back to that. So just know that bringing again the captivity means to end it, right? So when the Lord ends our captivity, because we're in captivity right here, right, in America, and all the places that we're scattered, we're in captivity right here. We're in slavery. We're in bondage. The Lord said that. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. That word Egypt is synonymous with the word bondage when you read Exodus chapter 20, verse 2, right? The Israelites were scattered, right? You had this something called the diaspora or the diaspora, right? Which means dispersed in the Greek. And so the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. The Lord said that within these nations, you're going to be oppressed always. So we're in oppression right here. We're in captivity. So when the Lord ends our captivity, guess what? We're going to be like those that dream. What does that mean? Let's just go back to it, right? We're going to be happy, right? We're going to be, hey, what you think? When the Lord delivered by the hand of Moses, when the Lord delivered his people out of Egypt, you think we were just, well, Lord just delivered us, right? No, we were happy, right? We were happy to get out of there, man, because we were sighing and crying unto the Most High, right? We were sighing and crying every day, right? Because of the oppression of the Egyptians, right? Got us out there in the damn desert working, right? Over 100-degree weather, right? We were in slavery. We were in captivity. And we were sighing and crying unto the Lord. And the Lord heard our prayers and our cries, right? The Lord said, I surely hear the cries of my people. And I will remember my covenant that I made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I'm going to deliver them, right? And I'm going to use you, Moses, right, to deliver my people. And so that's what he did. So when we were being delivered out of captivity, hey, we were happy, right? We were singing, we were dancing, man. You can read about that in the book of Exodus, chapter 15. We made a song to the Lord. We were singing songs unto the Lord. That's Jake, right? That is Jake right there. We're the ones known for making the best music, right? We're the ones that made jazz, right? We made jazz, hip hop, R&B, right? Soul, all different types of music, right? They even tell you, and this is debated, but they'll even tell you that some of the best classical musical or the classical artists back in the 1700s and 1800s were actually dark people, right? So-called black people like Beethoven. Some historians say that Beethoven was actually an Israelite, right? Or they don't say Israelite, but they say, black, right? So we always coming out with the best music. And so when we were coming out of Egypt, guess what? We were singing to the Lord when we got delivered. We're going to do that exact same thing when we get delivered out of this captivity. Lord, when we're part of that number. Let's go back to Psalm chapter 126, verse 1. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. It's going to be like a dream, man. It's not going to feel real. Imagine being beamed up into the chariot, right? Imagine like actually being beamed up into a UFO, right? It's not going to feel real. It's going to feel like you're dreaming, right? But it's going to be real, right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, right? It's not going to feel real. We're like those that dream, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, right? And the brother said rock, Yeah, we came out with rock, man. And then Esau kind of took it and made it his own, and then made it demonic. Now when we think of rock and roll, we think of damn metal rock and Slipknot and all this damn blasphemy, man. It's off, right? Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And we do that, almost on a daily basis, man. We stand in great boldness through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Proverbs 28:1, the righteous are as bold as a lion. We stand in great boldness against such as have afflicted us. Who's afflicting us? The Israelites. Who's afflicting the Israelites? The Edomites and the other nations, right? But chiefly, the Edomites, so-called white men, so-called white women, men and women. They're the ones that's oppressing the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we stand in great boldness in their faces. And we tell them their judgment through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? But even in that day, when the righteous are going to be delivered, we're going to stand in great boldness in that day, man. All right? Lord willing, we're part of that number. Verse 2. When they see it, right? Who's the they? The they is the heathen, right? When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, right? So they're going to be amazed by the strangeness of our salvation. We're going to be confounded at the strangeness of our salvation, man. No, there's been no other deliverance, right, than the deliverance that is going to be or that's going to come and pass on the earth for the Israelites or to the Israelites, right? Because, hey, back 4,000 years ago, we got delivered by strange wonders, right? By the hand of Moses. Moses split the Red Sea, right? That's strange. But guess what? Our salvation now is going to be even more stranger, right? Because we're going to be beamed up in these so-called UFOs, these chariots, right? And everybody's going to see that. And the heathen are going to envy that, right? But it says what? And it's not going to feel real, you know what I'm saying? America being destroyed, right? The Statue of Liberty falling down, right? You're getting beamed up. Damn, nukes coming, missiles, right? It's going to feel like a dream. And on another fold, too, what? Another fold, we are like those that dream. When we get into the kingdom, Lord willing, we're part of that number to walk into the gates. But when we get into the kingdom, hey, all that affliction and this turmoil and all this stuff that we lived in Babylon the Great and this life that we had, we're gonna be in the kingdom, and we're gonna be like, damn, I just had a dream. We were in Babylon, right? And damn, our women, hey, bro, our women, they were wearing pants, right? They were wearing booty shorts, and our men, they were wearing dresses, right? And Esau, this man Esau, he had a rule over us, and we weren't even a king. We were oppressed. We were in the ghettos, and we wouldn't be, and the brother's gonna be like, hey, that was a bad dream, right? It's a bad dream, Go ahead, go out to your slaves. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't worry about that. That's just a dream. Yeah, man. I just had the worst dream. So we're gonna be like those that dream. You know what I'm saying? That's another fold too, right? I heard some brothers say that. When we get to the kingdom, and the life that we live back in Babylon the Great, it's going to be like a bad dream to us. Because guess what? When we get to the kingdom, that's our real reality. The Israelites and rulership, that's the real reality. The life that we're living right now is a facade, because all this stuff is about to pass away. It's not going to mean anything in the kingdom, right? But come on, let's go back to this. Right, Psalms chapter 126. Psalms 126 and 1. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like then that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, right? Our mouth was filled with laughter. So we're going to be filled with laughter, man, right? That's our time to laugh when we get delivered, right? When we're in the kingdom, that's our time to laugh. That's our time to shine. That's our time to be joyful out of our minds, right? Because guess what? There's a time and a place for everything, right? There's a time and a place for everything. Let's get that in the book of Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, right? In verse 1. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, right? I'm going to skip down to verse 4, right? A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So there's a time and a place for everything. And our time to dance and our time to laugh and be joyful is going to be in that time, in that day when we get delivered, man, and enter into the gates, right, of the kingdom. That's going to be our time to laugh and have Tremendous fun, right? Psalms 126 and verse 2. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. Right? I also want to get this precept in the book of Isaiah, chapter 26. All right. It's Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 1. In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah. So we're going to be singing songs. All right. We're not going to enter into the gates of the kingdom like, oh, yes, we made it. Right. Just be clapping. Yes, we made it. Yes. Finally. Right. I can't believe it. We're actually here. Right. We're not going to walk into the gates like that, man. We're not going to walk into the gates like some damn goofy ass Edomite. Right. We're going to walk into the gates by saying, hey, let's go. Let's go. Right. Hey, you know how Jake is. Right. We're going to be like, let's go. Right. And we'd be singing songs. Yeah, I wouldn't even, we might even be throwing down some raps, Yeah, we just got delivered, right? Yeah, we out of here. Babylon the Great burning. Yeah, we out, so we might even be busting some rhymes when we get, into the kingdom, be saved. I wouldn't even doubt that, right? Because we're going to be delivered, right? And that's actually going to happen, right? Lord willing, we're part of that number. Isaiah 26 and 1, in that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah, right? We have a strong city. Salvation will God appoint for walls and bulwarks. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in Yahweh forever, for in the Lord Yahweh is everlasting strength. Right? So we're going to be singing songs when we get to the kingdom, man. All right? We're going to be happy. All right? We're going to be happy. Because we just got delivered out of the most wickedest nation on the planet. Because we just got delivered out of the land of our captivity, and we don't have to worry about people oppressing us anymore, right? We don't have to worry about that anymore. That's why we're going to be happy, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 18. But be you glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. Right? So Jerusalem is going to be a rejoicing and a people of joy, man. And I'll rejoice in Jerusalem, enjoying my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. Right? We're not going to be crying. Right? And maybe if we, make it in the wilderness and stuff like that, and we're kind of entering into the gates, we might, shed some tears of joy. Right? That might happen. But tears of sorrow and anguish that we go through right now, is even going to talk about that in Psalms, the latter chapter, but that we go through right now, that we're shedding right now, hey, that's not going to be seen in the kingdom, man. We're going to be happy, right? That's true happiness, right? True happiness, Jake, we think, or we might perceive that true happiness right now, the true happiness that we get is, having your first son, having your first daughter, right? Being, having your rib, right? You getting the rib, that's happy, right? That provokes emotions of happiness, right? But what is true happiness? We haven't felt true happiness yet. True happiness is when we get delivered, right? And enter into the gates, right? Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 26, right? Because I want to highlight a point of this. Isaiah 26 and 2, then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue was singing. Then said they among the heathen, right? So this is what the heathen are going to be saying as they see us rejoicing, right? The Lord have done great things for them. So they're going to be like, damn, the Lord really did great things for them, right? They're going to wish that they're going to be in our position. They're going to wish that they're in our position, man, but they can't do anything. Right? Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. All right, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and verse 27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. That just is going into when all hell breaks loose, certain men, certain women will abide under the shadow of the Almighty, and they're actually going to have abundance during famine. They're going to have abundance in the scarcity of water and of food and of resources. They're actually going to have a lot of stuff because the Lord is going to look out for them, right? Lord willing, we're part of that number, right? But there's going to be many of us that are going to be killed when all hell breaks loose. We also have to be prepared for that too. We don't know our lot, right? Let's keep going though. Verse 28. The heathen shall envy thee, right? So the heathen is going to envy us. They're going to envy the elect, right? I'll put it like that. They're going to envy the elect. And the heathen, on another level, the heathen even envy us now because they know that the kingdom is for the Israelites. They understand that we're the blessed, we're the chosen of the Most High, though they may not say it, right? That Ishmaelite down the street, and he may even know that you're an Israelite and that the kingdom of the Most High is for you, but he's not going to tell you that, right? It says what? The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. See that? So the heathen are going to envy us, man. Right? The Lord, hey, they're going to be saying, hey, the Lord did great things for them, man. Right? And they're going to be looking at each other like they're stupid. Right? Right? Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, actually. Right? There might be some left in there. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Right? Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 3. And they repenting. So, hey, some of them might even start repenting. Right? And start crying onto us. And crying onto the Most High. It's going to be too late. Right? It's going to be too late. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounting his life madness and his end to be without honor. You see that? So they're going to be repenting and groaning and anguishing in the spirit, man. They're going to be like, damn, right? This is the same man that we called a damn nigger, right? This is the same man that we didn't let on the basketball team because he was an Israelite, right? It's the same man that we were making fun of because he doesn't eat pork, right? Et cetera, et cetera. This is the same man that we called a wetback. But guess what? Now he's living it up in the kingdom, right? And they're going to be outside, right? They're going to be our servants, right? You even tell you that in Revelation chapter 11, verse 1 through 2, that they're not even going to be able to get into the temple, right? They're not even going to be able to get into the temple, right? So guess what, right? And that's going to be forever. Let's go back to this. Psalm chapter 126 and verse 3. The Lord have done great things for us, whereof we are glad, right? And we're going to be glad about that, man. The Lord has done great things for us. He has done so many great things for Israel. His works are innumerable, right? The amount of things that the Lord has done for his people is just innumerable, right? The Lord, just think about it. Ever since 4,000 years ago when Israel was established as a nation, even then, the Lord did so many great things for us. And he's going to continue to do great things until the kingdom come, man. Right? And that's the glory. That's the glory of the Most High right there. Right? Praise Yahweh Bash Shah for that. All right. Psalms chapter 126, verse 4. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. So you want the Lord to turn our captivity, right? You don't want the Lord to put us into slavery again. Not saying that any brother will say that, but you want the Lord to turn again your captivity, right? And guess what? We try to hasten the coming. We try to make our calling and election sure, so that when he does turn again the captivity, we also may be saved out of that, right? And see the promised land. Verse 5. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. So they that sow in tears shall weep in joy. What does that mean, sow in tears? Meaning work in tears. It's basically like that proverb, cry now, laugh later. It's exactly like this, right? Cry now, laugh later. And I heard that heard that proverb applied to school first, right? People that work hard in school, right, versus the people that don't want to work hard at school. They just want to just play around all day, right? Guess what? They're going to have to pay for it later in their life, right? They're going to be having to work minimum wage jobs, right? Getting fired from this job, got to get hired from this job, et cetera, et cetera. And they're going to be working and working and working. Whereas that man that was diligent in his studies in school, right? And he's crying because he got finals. He's taking all 5 AP classes, right? He's studying all day, all night. Whereas the other guy, he's going to parties, right? He's going to parties. He's going to this girl's house, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to the homeboy's house, and he's just playing around during middle school and high school. Guess what? He paid for it later. Now he's crying after, right? And he's crying after after in his life, because guess what? Now he has back problems because from working all day, that minimum job, he doesn't want to work there anymore, but he has to, right? Because he never went to college. He never went to a different school like that. He didn't even graduate high school, right? So et cetera, right? You get the point. So, and this is the same thing for this truth. Us that's putting in the work now, we're sowing in tears, man. Right? Let's get that in the book of Acts, chapter 20. All right, let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 20 and verse 19. Serving the Lord with all humility of mind, and with many tears and temptations which befell me by the lying and weight of the Jews. So Paul, he was laboring in tears, man. Right? He was laboring in tears. That was him. All right? You might have seen Paul crying, man. All right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Even Jeremiah was sowing in tears, man. But guess what? In the kingdom, you're going to see Jeremiah in the kingdom. He's going to be laughing. All right? Because all that hard work is going to pay off. That he did is going to pay off. Right? And Jeremiah might be back on the earth right now. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 1. Oh, that my head were waters and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. So Jeremiah said that, look, I'm going to weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people, man. And what you think when Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 20, when he said, I will not make mention of the Lord, right? And he kind of went into his house and didn't want to prophesy anymore. He kind of wanted to quit being a prophet, right? Hey, don't you think that Jeremiah was crying, right? When he experienced that, when he got punched, right? Put in a damn dungeon. Don't you think he was crying? Right? These prophets, the prophets and the disciples and apostles, they were crying at one point in time, right? And this is natural. When you go through a lot of stress and distress and pain and anguish, you're going to cry, right? And crying is not always a bad thing. David, a man of war who slew tens of thousands of people, was crying, right? Let's get that. Let's go to the book of Psalms, right? 56. And that's another thing too. The Lord has every single tear that you drop recorded in his book. Psalm chapter 56 and verse 8. Thou tellest my wanderings, but Slaki, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? You see that? So even David knew that the Lord records every single tear that we drop, right? And even even David was crying, all right? Right. Let's go to the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 18. Philippians 3 and 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mahashiach. So, Paul might even went through some things, man. Paul went through some things, and he was crying because of it, right? And he might have had some homeboys that he was in the truth with, his brothers, right? But guess what? They forsook him. And that could have an emotional impact on Paul. And therefore he was crying. It doesn't explicitly state why he was crying. But guess what? Paul was crying. And so though they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. They're going to receive that when they receive the reward of their labor, they're going to be happy. Right? Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 20. All right, 2 Timothy 4 and 20. First of all, 2 Timothy 4 and 10. For demons have forsaken me, having loving this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. So, hey, Demas might have been one of Paul's homeboys in the truth. But guess what? Demas forsook Paul for this present world, right? So don't you think Paul was upset? He might have shed a tear or two. But they that sow in tears shall reap in joy, man. And that's heavy. That's a lot of exhortation in one verse, right? Psalm chapter 126 and verse 5. And you may cry in this truth for whatever reason, man. That goes into the affliction. Acts chapter 14, verse 22, right? Exhorting, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them that we should continue in the faith and that we, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. That's how we're going to get the kingdom, right? Through tribulation. Psalm chapter 126, verse 5. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Plain, right? Verse 6. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, right? What is that precious seed? Remember, we're the workers in the vineyard. It tells you that in the book of Matthew chapter 20. We're the planters we're the workers in the vineyard, man. We got this precious seed with us, and we're planting it, man. Right? But though we're sobbing up, we're tearing, right? We're sweating spiritually and even physically, man. We out there in 100-degree heat, right? We're sowing in tears, man. We going through it. We're going through the pain, right? He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall what? Shall doubtless come again with rejoicing. Shall doubtless come again with rejoicing. Meaning it's without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to come again, and when you reap, you're going to be rejoicing, man. So all that hard work is going to pay off, right? That's what it says in the book of Sirach chapter 51 and verse 30. But I'll say that later. All right, let me get this precept first. Romans chapter 8, verse 18. All right, this is the classic. Romans 8 and 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time, because we're going to suffer, right? The sufferings of this present time, right, are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Meaning all this suffering that we're going through right now, it can't even be comparable to the glory that we're going to experience in the kingdom. Lord willing, we're part of that number, right? It's not even comparable, right? Didn't the Most High say in Daniel chapter 2 verse 44 that that our kingdom shall stand forever, right? Daniel chapter 7 verse 18, the saints shall take the kingdom. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever and ever, even unto forever, right? And that paradise that's open unto us, like it says in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 8, is going to be glorious and it's going to be forever. So, the suffering that we're going through can't even be compared to that glory that we shall receive, that the Israelites shall receive, man. All right. Psalm chapter 126 and verse 6. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. Right? Bahashimah Mashak Abashah, man. Right? And when's the last time your Christians, right, were crying because they were getting spit on because they were doing the work and they were getting on homosexuals? Right? When's the last time that happened? I'm just saying, right? I don't really see too many Christians crying because they're getting persecuted, right? I know a lot of Christians, right? And they're not real Christians either, right? Because Christian means to follow Christ, and they don't follow Christ, right? But that's another thing. But we in this truth, we cry, we go through it, man, right? But guess what? We happy to drink of the cup, right? So with that, Osalaki, I'm gonna get that last precept, right? And there's much, a lot of other precepts. I didn't want to make this too long of a breakdown, right? Not too in depth, but just to get the feel of it. This is a good song, right? This is Psalms, Osalaki, Sirach chapter 51 and verse 30. Work your work betimes, and in his time he will give you your reward. What's our reward? All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 20. All right, let's go to Matthew 20. This is Matthew chapter 20 and verse number right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 20 and verse 7. They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. So we're working for that penny, man. That penny is symbolic for that kingdom. We're all working for that same penny, right? The Lord is going to give us a penny, and Lord willing, we get paid, right? Because guess what? We're at the 11th hour right now. At the 12th hour, we'll be paid, right? So our shift is almost over, and we hope to get that penny, right? Remember, that penny is symbolic for the kingdom, everlasting life, right? So we're all striving for that penny, man, right? So with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, right? Lord willing, just edifying the water for tuning in, right? Everybody that was tuning in, the water, right? Very, very much appreciated, right? All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, man. Let's get this kingdom, man, right? We got to labor to bring forth, like it says in the book of Micah, right? Labor to bring forth. So with that, Kwam Yasha Allah, right? Shalom.